First off, I apologize for being a tad bit late on this. I'm about a little bit under 2 weeks behind when I should have done this. But we've been really busy. We've had a lot of wrestling to cover. We had a lot of horror night stuff to cover. Now everything's calmed down a little bit, and I've got some time on my hands. I thought it's time to tackle another tag video. This time, once more, by newcomers to the Popcast network, Loopy, Lulu, and Random Tales. And you can catch them every Thursday at Sip and Snack Random Flavors. So, cheap plug there. Not so cheap, because they're awesome people. Very much looking forward to hanging out with them at Halloween Horror Nights closing week this year. Now, that being said, they have devised a tag video of their own, and they sent it out to people, and they tagged me. So, that being said, I got my Harry Potter shirt on. Let's do this! So, shout out Grimm's Toy Show. Anyway, so let's start with the questions. There are 10 of them. So 10 questions, and the first one is, name a scene in any Universal movie you wish you could experience. Well, obviously it'd be cool to go Back to the Future. And it'd be, I can't say fun, but it would be really invigorating to run from the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Or it would be interesting, very interesting to, in the ending of American Pie, life imitating art. And there's a lot of things that jump to my mind. I'd like to, I don't know, get beat up by Bob Barker and Happy Gilmore. Or so many things get degraded by Major Payne. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could imagine doing when it comes to Universal, like seeing E.T. eat Reese's Pieces. There's so many great things. But one thing that comes to my mind, randomly enough as it may be, I really wish I could play basketball. Yeah, I really do wish I could play basketball. It would be really awesome to be able to play basketball, because you don't really need to be athletic to play basketball. And it works, and it's awesome, and you'd have real big fish playing your soundtrack. You can't go wrong with this. Easy answer right there. Number 2, name an unforgettable moment or experience you had at Universal or Islands of Adventure. Just like with the Disney tag video, I will not elaborate. I will not say anything more than this. 2011. And let's just say everything was in line at the time. And a lot of things I can say I can't forget was the first trip to Universal. It was really cool being able to get up on stage during the Ghostbusters attraction and hold slime in my hands. I thought that was really awesome. And it was really cool to be able to meet Rocky and Bullwinkle outside in New York Street when they had that little stage show. I thought that was super awesome and super cool. I just loved going to Nickelodeon Studios, because obviously I was a big Nickelodeon mark when I was growing up, because it was like WGN for Bozo the Clown, and then it was Nickelodeon, and then it was Disney, and that was just, that's how it was for me. And then there was the monster trucks, but that's another story for another time. The thing is, I really clung to those early trips. And then when I returned in 2010, it was one of those things that it was like I had so much to experience and I had so little time. And then I realized that I love this place. I want to be a pass holder. And that happened immediately, and I've not looked back since. I've been staying on property now for the last several years, and I'm not changing that anytime soon. So yeah, that's just how it is. Other things I think are really unforgettable and awesome are the first time that I rode certain things. The first time I rode Spider-Man. Spider-Man's awesome. First time I rode the Hulk. I'll give you a cool story about the Hulk from 2011. This one I can't elaborate on. So I'm rocking my Miz shirt. The first Miz shirt that came out that says I'm awesome on the front of it. And I'm rocking my Miz shirt, and we get into line, and all of a sudden the thing gets ready to take off, and you hear somebody on the microphone yell, "Awesome!" and it takes off, right? Well, when I get off the ride, they pull me aside, and they're like, "Dude, we really like the Miz, we like wrestling a lot. So here's some Attraction Express passes." And I was like, "Awesome, thank you so much." And there was an issue with Spider-Man later on in the day, and we were able to ride it because of that. So that was super awesome and super nice. It was a really great experience. Also, another thing I like is I love the Christmas events. I love Grinchmas. I love the Macy's Holiday Parade, and I've become a big proponent of Mannheim Steamroller. Being able to watch that first Mannheim Steamroller show and being able to film the whole thing this is the stage, this is me. and it was just insane. It was just awesome, like the soap flakes falling from the sky. It was amazing. I just loved every second of it. So that's definitely my answer to that. Plus anything Horror Nights related. The YouTube meetup that Tim set up in 2013, my first real year, even though I started going in 2012. My first experience at Bill and Ted, obviously in 2012. I will say right now, anything that we've done for a pop meetup last year was unforgettable. And I will say, like, anything we did involving Halloween Horror Nights last year was unforgettable. Without a doubt, without a question. So I enjoyed it. I enjoy, like, meeting people in the parks that like the channel, like what we do here, and it's really awesome, really cool to get recognized. I like that. It's not like something like, oh my god, he's a celebrity. No, it's something, it's just cool. It's just cool to be like, hey, we like what you do, so hey, how you doing? And it's like, hey, how you doing? And it's like, I'm doing great and everything. Thank you for watching the show and supporting the network. It's awesome. I love it. It's great. First time I went to Universal was 1990. I mentioned that previously. Like I said before, I've got lots of pictures from it. Ones I'll probably one day will make public. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, some of the outfits I wore, but I was a kid, so what do you expect? So I was like 9 years old, so there's always that. My favorite Universal movie. I took a lot of deciding. First off, you have to qualify if some movies count as Universal Pictures or not, because there's a lot of movies on the quote-unquote Universal Pictures film release list that are not Universal Pictures. They are maybe distributed internationally just by Universal, or they're distributed through another company, and it's just totally in disarray. But after looking at that, I was going to settle on Happy Gilmore, and then I thought about it, and I was like, you know, I'm going to go a little bit less conventional on this, and I don't know why, I can't explain it, but this takes me back to May 27th, 1977, Hal Needham, the stuntman, in his directorial debut, Smokey and the Bandit. I don't know why. I don't know why I've gravitated towards that and Cannonball Run throughout my life. Of all the movies, all the grand movies I've seen throughout my life, those are ones that have been guilty pleasures, and probably guilty in the worst ways in some people if you really think about it. But I love them very much. Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed as Bandit and the Snowman. It's just an awesome story. You got Big Enos Burdett and Little Enos. They are trying to convince somebody to run illegal Coors beer in order to get it to a driver that they have some stake in if they win this race at this truck race at a speedway. And sure enough, they enlist the help of the Bandit, and the Bandit ends up running into a runaway bride, which is Sally Field. Sally Field is a character named Frog. Why? Because, like Burt Reynolds says, she's cute as a frog. And Frog was running away from Junior, which just happens to be the son of Texas lunatic sheriff. Not lunatic as in like Buford Pusser sheriff, but I guess that's probably somewhat where you can take the character from to like a downgrade level. And that is the late great Jackie Gleason, Sheriff Buford T. Justice. This movie's awesome. I love it very much so. It's great. It's really entertaining to watch. So they have, what was it, 28 hours to get from Atlanta to Texarkana, Texas with illegal Coors beer and then back. And they're going to get $80,000 if they do that. It's just something that's really awesome. The black Trans Am, the snowman riding the tractor trailer. Just great stuff. Great stunts. Obviously, Hal Needham, a stunt man directing it. Makes perfect sense why it'd be so iconic when it comes to actual action sequences. And Burt Reynolds and Jackie Gleason just play off each other so well. I love this movie. And it may not be a like critically loved movie, but it's a classic in my mind and always will remain so. Least favorite Universal movie? Bridesmaids. Enough said. Hate that movie. Even a special moment can't tell me anything that more than I hate that movie. I just do. I do not like Melissa McCarthy. I never have. We'll see what happens. Favorite Universal and Islands of Adventure ride. Okay. Now, it has been The Mummy. I've always been a big fan of The Mummy. I love The Mummy. The Mummy's amazing. I ride it every single trip, at least numerous times. I probably get it in double digits every single time I'm down for 2 weeks. Plus, sometimes. But, that being said, it's kind of like, I realize that there's something I do a lot more, and that's Men in Black. Men in Black Alien Attack is one of my favorite rides, period. And I love this ride. I love the experience of this ride, and I always will. Now, if you want to go over to IOA, now my favorite ride is obviously Spider-Man. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is probably one of my favorite rides ever. But I have to say that like a 1A, 1B kind of situation, I would say you're probably looking at maybe a 1A, 1B, 1C situation, I guess you would say, because it would be with Forbidden Journey and the Hulk. I guess you would have to put Mummy and Men in Black with Gringotts if you really had to. I was like, oh, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do 3 in 1 on both. And that's exactly what I did. So we got that. Least favorite Universal and Islands of Adventure ride. And Universal, it's kind of hard. But this is actually hard for me because I don't really dislike anything. I guess you would say what I like the least, I guess you would say. So on the studio side, I'm going to go with Minion Mayhem. Now, I love the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera, and back then I tolerated Jimmy Neutron, so this building has always been something I've dealt with before, but the Despicable Me stuff, I mean, I think they missed a golden opportunity to make Despicable Me a lot bigger than they did, so that's something that's always going to resonate in my mind. And when you go to Islands, this is kind of cheating. I guess you're going to have to qualify if this is counting or not. So, to this day, I have not rode. We're not counting, obviously, Pteranodon Flyers, because I can't, because I don't have a kid with me. And I can't say I rode Kong, because I'm not in town right now. And I can't say I rode the new Hulk, so those don't count, they're off the table. But there are 2 rides that I have never been able to ride. Number 1 is Doctor Doom's Fearfall. Don't know why, it just never works out. It seems like it's either way too hot or it's raining when I'm ever there. So I would think in 3 weeks, combined 4 weeks, I'm going to be able to get that done this year. And the other one is Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges. To this day, it's the only ride that I have never really had a chance to ride, because every time I've had an opportunity, there's been inclement weather, or I don't feel like getting wet today, so I know what raft rides do, and I don't like getting soaked, so, and those $10 dryers are useless, so yeah, it's not worth my time. I think it's hilarious, because as I'm shooting you guys this video right now, Random Tales just messaged me and said, did I miss your Universal tag? And I was like, nope, doing it right now. So, yeah, shout out at Random Tales. Thanks to having you and Loopy Lulu here on the Popcast Network. So, I'm gonna have to go with Doctor Doom here. I never rode it, so I don't know if that counts. If I can't count a ride I have not rode, I probably would have to say by process of elimination, maybe... Oh, I don't want to say that, though. I guess by default, I probably would just have to say the Carousel, because I like Storm Force Celatron. I know most people don't, but I do. It's decent for what it is. It's a nice little breeze, especially when it's 90 degrees outside, and that's what happens in September. So, especially when it stops raining and it just gets really humid outside. Number 8 is, if I could get stuck on any ride for more than 30 minutes, what would it be and why? I think it'd probably be Spider-Man, probably because I want to just explore. I want to just use my eyes to explore what it looks like with everything, like, sitting, like, as is, and not having any screens up or anything like that. Another one probably would be Skull Island Reign of Kong, given the fact of all the things I've heard about it. I'm very curious to see exactly what I would be able to see if I was stuck there for 30 minutes. I'd say Escape from Gringotts is on there, I think Forbidden Journey's on there, I think anything Potter related or Kong related is probably on there. And I think most everything else, probably not. I'd love to say Men in Black, but the same thing I said in my Disney Tag video probably applies. They'd probably make it so I couldn't earn any points, so I wouldn't care to be stuck on a ride for 30 minutes, especially if I keep shooting, and I'm not getting anything for it. What rider experience are you most looking forward to coming to Universal and Islands of Adventure? Halloween Horror Nights 26 is the easy answer here, obviously. Cannot wait to see what Chance does when she takes over the event. I'm excited about the lineup so far and the prospects that we keep hearing may end up happening. If any of that stuff even comes close to happening, it's going to be an awesome year regardless. And I'm really excited about Kong. All the great things I've heard about Kong, the queue line for Kong, cannot wait for that. I'm looking forward to see what they do with the Hulk. I'm excited about that. I'm excited for Fallon. I'm excited to a lesser extent, I'm excited for Fast and Furious. I cannot wait for Volcano Bay. I know that doesn't count, but still, I mean, something I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly what's coming in the future, to be honest. I think that'd be a great way to answer that. And last but certainly not least, if you could bring back a new ride or show from Universal Islands Adventure, what would it be and why? I love the Alfred Hitchcock art of making movies. I think it'd be a great addition to a Universal Classic Monsters section of a third gate somewhere down the line. I think that would be awesome. I'd love to see Back to the Future brought back, maybe change the tech a little bit, because obviously you've got Simpsons, which has the same thing, pretty much, just kind of, it's cleaned up a little bit. I love Jaws. There's some great stuff there. There's a lot of great stuff. I said before numerous times on Popcast, on videos, on my Plus and Minus a long time ago, that I would foresee a third gate having like a Yesterland with stuff from the past going there. I'd love to see Ghostbusters return. Spooktacular was amazing. I'd love to see that return. Twister was good. Disaster was good. I mean, the original Earthquake, I enjoyed that. Confrontation, obviously, it's dead and buried now because we have a Kong ride again. But, yeah, there's a lot of really cool things I'd love to see come back. So, that's my tag. And I guess I got to tag some other people. So, I'm going to throw out the same invite as last time, and I'm going to add a couple to it. So, I'm tagging Travis. And I'm tagging Ashley, my friend Ashley the Seeker. And I'm also going to tag Will this time around. HHN Dog. And I'm going to tag Disco Liz. She's still busy from her move, so hopefully she'll be able to shoot out that video soon, if she's able to. So shout out to Liz. Hopefully I see you at Horror Nights this year. And another good friend of mine that hopefully I get to run into at least once or twice this year at the event, and that's Anna. So AnnaTV on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to, pick up the tag. Let's have some fun with this. So, that being said, follow me on Twitter at SirOwenDisney. Follow the Popcast Network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Zazzle store for our merchandise. It is under Popcast Network on Zazzle. Facebook fan page is under Popcast Network. You can also check out Random Tales on Twitter at RandomTales30. God, I don't know why I said 30. At RandomTales30. And Loopy Lulu at LoopyLulu3009. Travis on Twitter at TravisCoaster, and Liz on Twitter at DiscoLiz, Ashley on Twitter at Ashley the Seeker, and Will on Twitter at HHN Dog, and Anna on Twitter at AAANNATV. You can also check out links to their YouTube channels below in the description bar. And that being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.